It looks like I'm live. What's happening? Hi, ticket sellers. Sean here. Super excited to be with you here today for another live 10-minute high ticket tune-up. Let's get into it. I think it's going to be an awesome one today. Recently got a question from Jake in Missouri. Jake asks, hey, Sean, how do I stop my procrastination? Now, let's just talk about procrastination for a second. It can be a killer. It can be lethal, and it can do things that straight up just suck, right? Like nobody likes to procrastinate because what does it do at the end of the day? Like whenever I've ever procrastinated something like taking the trash out or, like watering the plants or this or that or the next thing, like I realize like, oh man, I should do this. And it starts to hurt my psyche and makes me feel bad. And I don't like it very much. And so then I'm like, dang it. Like I hate procrastinating. It's something that kills a lot of dreams and hopes. And, it just stops people from getting the results that they're looking to get for. So I've got 4 tips today that are going to show you exactly how I personally stop procrastination. It might be helpful for you. I don't know. But the answer to how do you stop procrastination is don't be a time bomb, right? There needs to be a documented or methodical process that you go through. These 4 tips helped me get through when I used to procrastinate a lot. I don't procrastinate very much anymore. I do from time to time, usually on the weekends though, right? So if you procrastinate, drop a comment below. What's the last thing that you actually procrastinated on? For me, it was a workout. And it was interesting because it was like, no, why do I work out? I work out for myself. I work out so that I can live to be 125 years old. Like that's my personal goal. But why did I procrastinate the workout is because, man, like the workouts I do are hard. Like I always try to do a really hard workout because I know when I do hard things, it sharpens my mental appeal. So instead of going to the gym and doing like a 30-minute workout, I'll go to the gym and I'll do like an hour or an hour and a half workout. And maybe it's a time thing or maybe I'm doing a different exercise, whatever. Regardless, let's dive into my 4 secrets on how to stop procrastination. Number 1, go public with your commitment to do whatever you want to do. Now, when I heard this, I was like, whoa, what does that even mean? And literally it was, you just got to go public. You got to make a statement. You have to plant your flag. You have to put your feet down on the ground and move in a direction. It's like, hey, listen, family, friends, people on internet world, all the people that I, like all my clients, everything else. If I tell them I'm going to go do something and I go public with this commitment, guess what's going to happen? Higher probability that I'm not going to procrastinate and I'm going to actually take the task and get it to completion. Why? Because social pressure sucks and social pressure is great. So social pressure can be used as a motivator to keep momentum going in your life. I think it's valuable. And so that is tip number 1. Tip number 2, how to stop procrastination. Here we go. Put a designated time on the calendar to actually achieve what it is that you're doing. Now, whatever it is that you have set to do in your life, listen, get on the calendar, put time blocked in your day, your life, your world in order to achieve the thing that you're out to do. Because if you don't do that, then you'll say, oh, I'll get it done whenever. If there's not a designated time or an appointment, then that's a problem. This one really, really helped me. Now, the first person I learned from this was like Heather Torres from Think Media. I love Heather Torres to death. And her family, Isaiah and her kids, and the whole Think Media crew, like big fan. I'm a big fan of all of those guys. And Heather is literally a master at time management. Now, if you remember from the High Ticket Seller Summit, she covered time blocking. She shared a lot of tactics and tools and tips and how to do it and what it sounds like and everything else. But again, this is one of the fastest ways to prevent or eliminate procrastination in your life is putting a designated time on your calendar and holding true to the time on your calendar. Look, you would never stand up a client. You would never stand up a prospect. You would never stand up your best friend or your wife or your husband or your spouse or your kids or whatever, because it's them, right? Like, and so the same thing here is like, don't stand up yourself, your calendar. That's important, right? So when you put something on your calendar, especially if it's a work calendar, like get it done, right? So put a designated time on your calendar. That's step number 2. Let's move on to number 3. This one's a great one, right? Penalize your pocketbook. What does that even mean, Sean? If you just tune in right now, like we're talking about how to stop procrastination. Jake from Missouri is like, Sean, how do I stop my procrastination? Don't be a time bomb. I'm giving you 4 tips. This is number 3, penalizing your pocketbook. A realtor buddy of mine in Florida shared this with me. He said to me, his name's Dick, and he said, Sean, he goes, yo, man, like if you procrastinate, the only thing I do to prevent my procrastination is like I penalize myself financially. So he goes to his spouse and he says, listen, I'm going to do this. And if I don't do this on this date at this time, then I'm going to write you a check, my beautiful wife, for $150, $200. In fact, he told me I write a check to her for $1,000, whatever it is that's going to hurt you, like, but it's not obscene. That's the amount of what the number should be that you use to penalize your pocketbook. So say, for example, hey, you want to lose 10 pounds this month, for example, right? And so you say, okay, at the end of the month, time and date, right? Put it on a calendar. If I haven't lost 10 pounds by this date, I have to send a check of $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 to somebody, accountability partner, right? I almost guarantee this one will end procrastination for you for life, but it's a very, very valuable tip, right? So put some money behind it, right? Put some money behind the word, the promise. This is a really, really great move if you're trying to prevent procrastination. And last but not least, this one is really, really valuable. This one, keystroke it into your memory. What does that mean? Journal. Write it down, type it into a journal log, whatever you have. I personally use a program called Evernote on my computer. If you don't have Evernote, it's free. Go grab a copy of it just from the App Store and literally download it on your computer. You can use notes. You can use whatever form it is, even if it's just in a notebook. Like I write a ton of notes every day in a notebook. I have journals, like I have my goals journal behind me, whatever the case may be. But if you are committed to doing something, write down what it is you're committed in detail, talk about all the pieces, the way you're going to feel when you're completed. Of course, maybe I should come out with a series of questions that might help. If this is helpful for you, please leave a comment below, simply because I think writing down something that's valuable is going to help you achieve it. So these are the 4 things that I personally use in order to stop procrastination. So let me do a quick recap. Again, the question was from Jake in Missouri, says, Sean, how do I stop my procrastination? That's what he asked. There's the question again. I'll share it with you. And again, my 4 tips, just to do a recap at end our high ticket 10-minute tune-up today. Number 1, go public. Tell people what you're trying to accomplish and when you're going to accomplish it by. Don't just say what you're trying to do. Put a timeline on it, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, definitely put a designated time on the calendar of when you're going to achieve that. Again, once you've made it public, like, hey, I'm going to go lose 10 pounds this month. Okay, great. When are you going to do it by? Well, like the 2nd of the month, next month. Great. So that's the date. So secondly, now we're going to take that commitment that you just put out in the public and put it on your calendar. So it's like on the 2nd of the month, next month, I will lose 10 pounds if that's the thing that you're trying to get out of or procrastinate around. Next thing, penalize your pocketbook. If you don't lose 10 pounds by the 2nd of the month, who are you writing a check to and what is that check amount? And does that person know that they're going to be receiving that? And then lastly and finally, commit it to memory by writing it down. Keystroke it into your memory simply by journaling on what your commitment is. And these 4 tips, when you use them in coordination and they integrate like this, guess what? You're going to eliminate all the procrastination out of your life. And these are what I do. It works, right? I've seen lots of other people. I've talked to a lot of people about this kind of a thing, especially when it comes to sales activity. Obviously, we're talking about sales all the time, always revenue, always relevant. And the one piece that I think is valuable for you guys to remember is use these procrastination or prevention of procrastination tips in order to sell more for yourself, right? The biggest thing that salespeople procrastinate on, guess what it is? You probably know, prospecting, right? Why? Because prospecting is hard. Prospecting takes time. Prospecting, you got to just kind of sift through and find the right opportunities. And that is work, right? But that's the great work. That's the work that I thrive to get into every single day now. Because why? Number 1, I know that my message and the stuff that we represent and provide, the value that we give to people is super powerful and it can change people's lives. I've been able to make the impact like that and ding the universe with a lot of other people. And you, I'm sure, have as well, right? And that's the biggest thing to remember. So again, if you, Jake, this one goes out to you, my friend from Missouri, Jake from Missouri. If you're trying to prevent procrastination, just follow those 4 tips. And, I think you'll find some really, really good results. Remember, go public with it. Designated a time on your calendar to actually take action and do the thing that you're trying to do. Penalize your pocketbook. Who's the check you're writing to and why? And then lastly, commit it to your memory by writing it down in your journal. Those are the 4 steps I use. I hope that helps. This is a 10-minute high ticket tune-up. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Woo! Yeah.